27 lessons from 27 years. When you don't know, give people the most generous explanation possible for their behavior. Someone cuts you off. They must have to go pee. They don't reply to your email. It's probably buried in their inbox. Much of the time, this is actually the case, and it makes you much easier to get on with. 2, exercise isn't about feeling better. It's about bringing you back to baseline. I listened to an interview with the happiness studies pioneer Tal Ben-Shahar. He said if he were a therapist, the first thing he'd ask every client is simply, are you exercising? He explained it's not about exercise even making you feel better. As human beings, we are meant to move. Exercise is about bringing you up to baseline. If you're not exercising regularly, you're not even at your baseline level for mood and energy. 3, the mind is for having ideas, not holding them. David Allen. Most stress, frustration, and scatteredness don't necessarily come from having too much to do, but from trying to store all of it inside your mind. Psychologists estimate that the mind is meant to focus on a maximum of 2 things at once. If you want to be more effective and enjoy yourself, don't let your commitments live in your head. Get them out of there and store them in lists, calendars, paper, or digital. Paper is to write things down that we need to remember, period. Our brains are used to think. That's Albert Einstein. 4, 3 words, 2 meanings. Avoid boring people. One more time. 3 words with 2 meanings. Avoid boring people. That's James Watson. 5, creative or business projects are like a kitchen remodel. They always take twice as long and twice as much money as expected. Stephen Pressfield. 6, knowing isn't doing. To consistently turn knowledge into action is worth a 50% increase in your IQ. 7, stop engaging with any media that makes you feel outraged. Outrage is addictive and not constructive. On the other side of the content, there are thousands of engineers and producers with billion-dollar budgets who profit from stealing your attention. Don't let people profit from you being upset. 8, sometimes you're already successful, time just hasn't caught up yet. Best-selling author James Clear tells his story of success. Whether or not something is deemed a failure depends on when performance is measured. I signed the book deal for Atomic Habits in November 2015, and it was published in October 2018. If you were to measure the performance of the book at any point during those 3 years, the project would have been deemed a failure. In January 2016, it was incomplete, a failure. In August 2017, still unfinished, a failure. In February 2018, again, a failure. But after October 2018, it looked like a success. Same project, different time when the outcome was measured. This idea applies to many areas of life. You're not failing, you're just in the middle of succeeding. Your work might already be a success, time just hasn't caught up yet. 9, love the person who needs it most. My dad once told me that he asked his mom, my grandmother, which of her 6 children she loved most. She said, whoever needs it most right now. I think that's a good lesson for parents and friends. 10, get in front of people and make them an offer. I was interviewed on a podcast and the host asked if I had any business advice for dreamers. It could be artists, thinkers, entrepreneurs, or even just people in a more traditional career. I said yes, 3 things. Number 1, get in front of people and make them an offer. 2, get in front of people and make them an offer. 3, get in front of people and make them an offer. How did I get my first speaking event? I messaged a bunch of random businesses and offered them a talk. How did I get my first coaching client? I was in front of people for a different talk and I offered coaching. How did I get my mentor and current business partner? I emailed a bunch of successful professional speakers and offered to work for them for free. Running down a dream can be complex or simple. Keep it simple. Get in front of people and make them an offer. They're waiting for you. 11. Get up earlier for no reason. I don't know why getting up earlier makes me feel better, but it does. Nearly every spiritual and religious tradition emphasizes the early morning. Buddhist monks meditate sometime between 4:30 and 7 a.m. The Vedic traditions have a sacred period beginning 96 minutes before dawn and ending 48 minutes before sunrise. The first Muslim prayer is at dawn. There are modern scientific affirmations. A study of 840,000 people by researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder and the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard found that sleep schedule significantly influences risk of depression. Waking up just 1 hour earlier, regardless of your usual sleep schedule, reduced risk of depression by about 23%. Just do it. 12. We think, when everything is right with the world, then I'll feel good. But it's the opposite, actually. When I feel good, everything is right with the world. 13. Be prepared to leave your employer. They are prepared to leave you. 14. The world is an energy mirror. This is from Multidisciplinary Thinking with Peter Kaufman. You're standing in front of an elevator. The door is open. You have 3 choices. Smile and say hello, scowl and hiss, or do nothing. Option 1, 98% of the time they smile and say hello back. Option 2, 98% of the time they scowl back. Option number 3, 98% of the time they do nothing back. Reality is an energy mirror, but you have to go first, and you're going to get back whatever you put out. 15. The highest spiritual practice is self-observation without judgment. That's a quote from Swami Kripalu. 16. Just because you felt a certain way in the past doesn't mean you can't feel differently now. Growth comes from improving your perspective. It doesn't make you a hypocrite. 17. Don't start from scratch. Find an accelerator to skip steps. Tony Robbins got his start working with Jim Rohn, a famous motivational speaker. Warren Buffett studied under Ben Graham, one of the top investors of that time. The Beatles got their big break opening for Little Richard, who was a huge celebrity back then. The common pattern is that nearly every prolific person had someone accelerate their journey. They found someone with momentum and used it to skip steps. In my case, I found my business partner and went from college student to full-time speaker running 2 consulting businesses in about a year and a half. Success leaves hints. The hardest part of building a success is going from 0 to 1. So find someone who's already at 1 or 2 and it will accelerate you to 10 and beyond. 18. When wrong, acknowledge it immediately and emphatically. Quote, to make mistakes is human, to own your mistakes is divine. Nothing elevates a person higher than quickly admitting and taking personal responsibility for the mistakes you make and then fixing them fairly. If you mess up, fess up. It's astounding how powerful this ownership is. End quote. That's Kevin Kelly. 19. Beware of looking for goals. Look for a way of life. Decide how you want to live and then see what you can do to make a living within that way of life. That's Hunter S. Thompson. 20. Make your exhale twice as long as your inhale to calm your nervous system. Inhaling longer than exhaling produces an up-regulating effect. Exhaling longer than inhaling produces a down-regulating effect. Aim for about 2 to 4 seconds in and 4 to 8 seconds out. Do this for a minute or 2 and you'll notice an immediate shift in your mind and body. 21. The answer is money. What's the question? 22. Don't bother with thinking of good ideas. Just think of lots of ideas or steal and remix them. You could try to pound your head against the wall and think of original ideas, or you can cheat by reading them in books. That's Patrick Collison. And, another quote, the best way to have a good idea is to have lots of ideas. Linus Pauling. 23. Happiness is a practice. Thich Nhat Hanh said, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Henry Thoreau explained it as, I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by a conscious endeavor, to affect the quality of the day. That is the highest of arts. A change in worldview will change the world viewed, as Thomas Berry quipped. We don't see the world as it is, but as we are. Think of anything you're good at, a hobby, a skill, a sport. How did you get good? You learned how from a coach, a teacher, a book, a class, a video, and then you actually applied it again and again. Study and practice. How could happiness be any different? Study the art of living, then make it a way of life. Happiness is a practice. 24. The only way to win an argument is to avoid it. Dale Carnegie. 25. Why worry? You have a problem. Is there a solution? If yes, then why worry? If no, then why worry? 26. Every man has 2 lives, and the second starts when he realizes he has just one. Confucius. 27. Start before you're ready. Don't trick yourself into waiting to, quote, feel ready. Like, this is the story for so many people. I wanted to travel the world, but I wasn't ready. I had to start making a living first. I wanted to say I love you, but I didn't know if I was ready, if it's the right time. I wanted to quit my job and follow my dream, but just didn't feel like I had the right setup for it. And then years go by, and they never even started. If you limit yourself to things you feel ready to do, then you're sticking to things you've done before, or things that are so easy, obvious, and simple that you know exactly what to do. You have to start before you're ready if you want to expand your comfort zone. You're never going to feel ready to do something radically new, different, or challenging. How could you? So don't wait. Start before you're ready.